What's going on, everyone? Coming at you with an Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition video. This will be the Lake Poyang level in the Historical Battles section, a one-off level. This is a very difficult level, and it starts off kind of quickly, so I'm doing a little bit of a preamble here before I actually get started. Starts off quickly. You'll see what's going on, and I'll try to break things down and show how I beat this level. It's a challenge, but it's a fun challenge, and so in that case, let's get started. First things first here, you start off with a few ships. What I do is patrol all my warships into the enemy ships to take them out, and then use the transports to move all of your villagers, except for one, over into this sort of main starting area. Use that treb to start taking out the towers, and back on that far left starting area, I leave one vill to make a market, a mining camp, and a dock. Probably the hardest part here is just microing down that onager. That wasn't my best showing of micro, but hey, it worked. Slow and steady, move the treb up, take out those towers, keep your ships back, try to keep those numbers, save them for later. Getting a town center up there, the market was to buy stone, and also you can sell your extra resources for gold and buy what you need. Try to stockpile resources at this point in the level. They'll become handy later, especially once the first transport comes that you have to escort. The level gets really hectic really quickly, so having a stockpile of about 4,000 wood when you finally get going there is a good way to go. Again, moving the treb up slowly, little by little, taking out the towers. That's a fire tower at the end of that peninsula there, so it's not super dangerous to your ships. You can get a lot closer to it, sort of setting them up ahead. Got a blacksmith going there. It's a good idea to try to get your dock and blacksmith techs now before you are strained for resources later on. You start off in Imperial, so techs are a little bit cheaper with Chinese. If you can try to get shipwright while you're here, it'll pay dividends later on with the cheaper ships and faster creation. Got a few warships coming out. I think I researched Galleon, or if not, just making some war galleys for now. No big deal. And I think there are 3 more towers at this point. Just get the treb up. And we've only got 5 minutes left before that transport comes, so I'm trying to mass up some ships. About 20 is a good number for this point. What am I population-wise? About 50. Yeah, you could make a few more vills, but I guess I'm saving some food. And this base stays later on, so eventually it'll get destroyed by some attacks, but for now you can make vills and sort of collect resources safely. So to clear the way, initially you want to, what I do is just patrol my massive galleys down into the towards the temple, and that'll clear the way. There are some ships that spawn throughout that you have to take out. So here comes that transport. What I try to do is just have ships patrolling in the lane that it'll take, and then kind of escort it with a few. So here we go. Now the level starts to get interesting. What I like to do is try to get a second town center up to the right of your starting one. Use some of those starting Chukonus to patrol across the land here, all the way to the far right, so you can get trade going with the Chinese peasant village. There are some pirates scattered around that you need to take out, so the Chukonus are a good way to do that. They're not very strong, the pirates there. So I can get a second TC going in safety, and I can also get trade going with the Chinese peasants up in that right corner. There's a relic there as well if you want to pick that up. I also, as you can see, I built, 6 or so docks in the middle of the temple area in that bay to start making some ships. About 6 or 8 docks is a good number. Just got to keep up production. So now that I have some decent numbers, I patrol them over towards the next shipment site, sort of up at the top of the map. First things first, there's just ships scattered around that you kind of have to take out manually. Not really manually, you can just take them out, but more ships will spawn. But the initial sort of scattered ships around are the ones you want to take out first. You can kind of ignore the towers. I mean, if you have enough numbers, take them out, but you can always truck the fire with your galleons when the transport ship is coming through. That's what I tend to do, a little bit of a hybrid approach. Truck the fire as well as sort of have some escorts going along with it. So here comes the transport. Just have my ships there distracting fire, taking out enemy ships, escorting it along the way. I'm not sure how many trade carts I have right now, but I think 20 to 30 is a good goal. And this level is very, very much driven by wood. It's always important to keep your wood count up. You're just going to be making and throwing away ships throughout the level. So I'm just patrolling over to the left, the top left corner now, to make way for the next shipment, taking out those towers. And I'm getting a little bit of a buffer zone going on land there. Gray will send some big attacks later if you let them, but in the meantime they just spawn some hussars here and there. What I like to do to kind of ease that headache is try to defeat them early, or at least beat them back from that little shallows area there. So the best thing you can do is, if you're making ships, just send those ships in to kind of help absorb that initial attack off of them. So I've got my Treb there trying to take out that castle, and here they come. This is a pretty strong attack. Using my rams to truck the fire, I've got some onagers going, arbs, and the ships I think are doing the heavy lifting. So at this point, I'm happy down here, and then I say, oh shoot, I've got 2 minutes left before the next shipment comes, so I immediately scramble my ships back up towards the top of the map, using my land troops to kind of work on Gray there. And my initial base got destroyed by some raids, but that's alright. Didn't really check on that. So here we go, got some escorts ready to go for that transport. Patrolling along the path. I think this goes without saying, but frequent saves are important in this level. I beat this in one broad stroke, but that's not without practice. I've played this many times and had many transport ships destroyed, so save every 5 or 10 minutes. It's definitely worth it. So I actually defeated Gray there. After that initial strong attack, if you can push in and kind of destroy their buildings, they'll be defeated. Getting a few towers up along the land, it's a little bit excessive, and they are susceptible to the enemy cannon galleons, but it is a good sort of deterrent. And the most annoying thing that can happen is if they actually land a landing on your main area, so the towers can help for that at least. And if you see cannon galleons coming at you, you gotta try to intercept them. So I'm really going above and beyond in this level. This little naval base here it spawns ships, and that's kind of where they come from. They've got some docks there for production. I just patrol my ships in to kind of take that out for fun, because I've got a big enough navy. Actually, I'm kind of dwindling on resources here, so maybe that wasn't smart, but there are a few towers scattered around that I've heard called super towers. They have something like 17 range, and they destroy your ships in like 1 or 2 shots. They're really powerful. So what I try to do is send galleons to truck the fire from them, and then use a few cannon galleons to take them out. 4th shipment's on the way. It sort of comes from above the pirates there. So I'm just sending my ships up along the path, patrol them in, take out any enemy ships, try to escort along the way. I'm not too worried about this one because I beat back that little base there. I forget when I tributed the gold to the pirates for them to join me, but if you do it too early, they'll just get steamrolled by the existing ships out on the map. You sort of want to launch an attack on that island up by them while you tribute, and then they'll help with that. And if their docks get destroyed, they're sort of useless after that, so it's worth kind of helping them out a little bit. Another thing to note is that even though Gray is defeated, they will still spawn hussars to come attack you. I think it's like 6 at a time every 5 or 10 minutes. A few towers on the land there will take them out. And that's actually the side where Gray is where the last shipment comes from, so we've nicely taken them out, and it'll be smooth sailing from there. There are a few towers scattered around down there. I think I took them out. But the naval attacks are definitely stay up. Trying to build some towers on that middle island that got properly quashed, so maybe I'll send another villager out there. At this point, just kind of having some fun. This is all sort of an excessive endeavor to beat them back, but just keeping galleon production up. It's all you really need at this point. I think I deleted all my land troops. Got a nice stockpile of resources as well. And here comes the next shipment. Oh, there's a little gold on that island, collecting that as well. At this point, not really necessary. Shipment's on the way, and there's the last shipment. So now the task is to complete the temple. And at this point, you'll get a lot of naval attacks coming in, so just try to keep your docks queued up with ships. You'll see my pop kind of ebb and flow after these attacks. It goes, 130, that's not too bad, but they spawn a lot of ships and send a lot of attacks now. They try to make a lot of landings. They try to send demo ships. So that line of towers along the shoreline there by the temple is the best thing you can do. All the other ones kind of scattered around aren't as necessary. It's just a convenience. So I'm just keeping my ship numbers up, patrolling out in front of the temple. That's really it's the main place of their attacks. I mean, they'll try to land elsewhere, but this is the main focus. I built some more towers along those peninsulas there in front of the bay, and the temple's built, and that's the end of the level. So I kind of talked through that quickly. This is a very difficult level, and this was on hardest. I'm sure it's substantially easier at the lower levels, but frequent saves are important. Try to take my main